Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome back to the Abundance Club. So lovely to have you here tuning in. How are you feeling? Let's do a little check in. I always like to do this at the beginning of each episode because I think presence, when we're talking about abundance and manifestation, presence is number one. Bringing yourself into the present moment. And I know I can tend to multitask, and I'm all for that, particularly if I'm doing like mundane tasks at home. I like to have a podcast in my ears at the same time. But that's not to say that we can't drop into presence in any moment, what is available for you when you become present and when you even just take a moment to connect with your body and your breath and your soul. So I really just invite you to give yourself a moment to acknowledge yourself and to choose yourself in this way. This is such a big theme of this year. And I want to talk a little bit more in this episode about what truly becomes possible when you stop trying to bargain with your own limitation. I see this so much, hence why I wanted to create a podcast episode on it, because it is so important. It is life-changing when we stop negotiating with our fears and instead shift into the identity of the woman or man. So if I'm saying woman in this episode and you're a man listening, like, please change it out, interchange it. We have aspects of both within us at any rate, so you're welcome here. But it's the woman or man who no longer questions. This is paradigm shifting. And it may just be, because I know it is for so many, the missing piece that's been holding you back. And as a manifestation teacher and as a soul mentor, the work I do is deep, but I also like to simplify it. I'm a 1-3 mental projector, if anyone knows human design. Like, I do go deep in my work. I like to investigate. I like to know what's happening here and why. And, in some ways that can hold us back from really claiming our authority. But in other ways, it offers such depth to the work that we do. But within that depth, and I've been teaching spirituality and manifestation now for nearly 20 years. I've certainly been embodied in this work for a really, really long time. And I see time and time again what it actually is that moves the needle, what it actually is that creates this shift. And I want to share that with you today. So buckle up, stay tuned, and please, before we go any further, make sure that you are subscribing or following along. Whatever platform that you are listening on, please subscribe or follow. That really helps, and it ensures that you get this transmission straight to you as the episodes come up. It doesn't get lost in the sea of podcasts, and it also helps this transmission to grow and grow throughout the world, as it is so beautifully. I am blown away. Thank you to those of you who reach out to me. I've had some beautiful people from around the world booking in for embodiment, one-to-one embodiment sessions with me. The details of that are in the show notes if you just want that one kind of power session to really help move you forward. Now is a great time of year to do that before we go deeper, and particularly having come through this energy of the new moon, which is really about starting to deeply plant in those seeds of intention that are going to carry us forward. They're going to set the tone for these next years to come, because we're moving into this new cycle. So it's a really, really powerful energy that's supporting us and holding us and upgrading us and transforming us. I've been having the deepest dreams, or almost wake up feeling like I've just completely shifted. And I know other people have been telling me how profound and vivid and deep their sleep and their dreams have been. And it's giving us information. And the feeling that I've got at the moment is like the cosmos is helping us to upgrade and to shift. And this really ties into what this episode is about. So we can spend so long, so much time investing in therapy, only to find that we are still in the same spot, right? Trying to convince ourselves that we can change whilst still making choices as the one who's rooted in fear, who is doubting, who is questioning. And honestly, it's such a hard slog. And I know many of us are exhausted and we're ready for a paradigm shift. We're ready for life to be more easeful. And the women who are coming into my world and who are working with me are available for that. And that is what we're transmuting. Like, I believe that is the new paradigm that we are bringing through, is receiving abundance, abundant, being our abundant self with ease. So I think that this is the reason why so many of us don't end up manifesting what we want, and the years go by and we're wondering, why isn't it happening? Why isn't it changing? So what is going on here? As we know, if you've been listening to this podcast, you will know we have the negative side of us. And it's the aspect, I don't like really using the word negative, so feel free to insert whatever word feels right for you. But basically, it is the aspect of us that is rooted in limitation. It believes in our limitation. It tries to convince us all of the time of our limitation, right? And it does that because it's trying to keep us safe. It's trying to keep us alive. It doesn't want us to change and go into the unknown and grow and expand. So it is deeply embedded in and conditioned by our fears. And it's telling you a story right now. And it's telling you a story through your thoughts, through your emotions and your feelings. And that particular story for you is what's broadcasting and 3D printing your life. It's what's creating your reality. That signal is being sent out, and more of what is like that signal is returned back to you. It's really quite simple. It's science. So then we wonder why nothing's changing, why our dreams aren't manifesting, why we're having the same old thoughts of lack and doubting and questioning and feeling the fear. And it can feel really debilitating because there's a part of us that wants the abundance, that wants to change, that wants the growth, that thinks all of that is a really great idea, that's on board. And then there's that other part of us with its foot firmly on the brake saying, no way, So then we're here hoping things will change, but not realizing that we are unconsciously keeping ourselves in our own cage of limitation. And it is really, really easy to get stuck trying to reason with, trying to fix, trying to self-improve, trying to convince that aspect of us to change. And we make it so much harder for ourselves when we do that, so much harder than how it needs to be. And I like the analogy of the computer. It's like trying to fix an old computer by trying to upload new software while the operating system it's outdated. It's not compatible with the new work and the projects that are ready and wants to move through you, the way that life wants to move through you. That vessel is not able to hold it. It's not able to receive it in the way that you are now designed to, because you're changing, you're progressing. So why wouldn't we just get a new computer? Most of the time we do, right? We realize that we can't fix the old one, so it's much easier to just shift our energy and invest in the new one that doesn't have all of these old, outdated problems that we're trying to manage and fix. That's exhausting. So why, when it comes to ourselves, why do we spend so long, so much time and energy playing in our limitation? Why wouldn't we instead stop giving it airtime? Stop trying to convince that part of you, the limitation, the negativity, stop trying to convince it to come on board. Stop trying to convince that part of you that believes change equals death, that believes unknown is unsafe, And by the way, if you are wanting to manifest something amazing for yourself, and I know if you're listening to this podcast, you do, it absolutely requires you to step into the unknown. So you better start getting comfortable with the discomfort. You better start being willing to take steps into a future that might seem right now a little bit foggy, a little bit unclear, because that's how it's meant to be. But as you take those steps, the fog lifts, it becomes clearer. But that part of you is not comfortable with that. And so it believes that your expansion is not safe. Your dreams are not safe. And so it will avoid it at any cost. How does it do that? It sends off thoughts of doubt and fear and limitation and lack. Ones that sound like, I can't do this. It doesn't work out for me. It's too hard. That's too much work. I have to first look after the kids. It's selfish for me to do that. I'll just do this instead, right? You know that. Like, insert your own familiar story. Most women, by the time they come to work with me, they're sick of their own limitation. They're aware of it. So wouldn't it be easier, for ease, wouldn't it be easier to just start to shift into the identity of the one who knows their worth right now? Who knows that anything is possible? Who knows how valuable they are? Who knows that she does not need to convince herself, or anyone else for that matter, of her deservability. She doesn't need validation or approval that the small self needs, because she is the validation. She is the signal. She is the expansion. She is the abundance. That is who you are when you come back to your truest nature. But instead of really owning that, owning your power, instead of women owning their power, we're putting so much energy into trying to make changes while playing in the same old pool, when there is a whole beautiful, expansive, unlimited ocean out there. This ocean is waiting for you. This identity, this is the truest essence of you. You can think of it as your soul self, as your future you, as your highest self. She is there. She is the part of you that's already living the life of her dreams. Remember, all potentials exist, not in the future. Time is a construct of this 3D world, but right now. This is why manifestation can be instantaneous. But the reason that it's not is because we are still bargaining, trying to fix an old identity that is never going to come on board. People can spend years in talking therapy, for instance, and I'm not putting that down because it serves its purpose for some people, but when we're just continuing to go over the same stories and the same problems and we stay rooted in the same old identity, we're just perpetuating more of the same. Because you can't create your dreams operating as the same version of you who doubts it, who believes it's unsafe. Because doubt belongs to the old identity, and that part of you lives in fear and separation, and that's okay. It's here to keep you alive, but it's been leading instead. It's forgotten what its role is. It's meant to keep you alive, to actually keep you from real danger, but you standing up on a stage and speaking, or you starting a podcast, or you growing your business is not a death threat. And so it's lost its way. And it has edged God out. This is the acronym of the ego. It has edged God out. So that is not who you are. And what I see so often is women who are innately already so tapped in, because that is our essence. But we've forgotten it, and there's layers of conditioning over the top, so it's harder for us to remember that. But I see so often women who feel a clear connection whose guidance is actually coming through. They know in their heart what they're here for, what they want. They know their limitation. They even know what they need to do. They're even shown the signs. They have the vision. Remember, you wouldn't have the vision and the desire if it wasn't for you. But then they freeze when it actually comes to taking action. They choose to bargain with their fear. They think, let me wait until this is done. Let me wait until I feel a little bit more ready. Maybe I'll look and see if there's another sign. Let me wait until I have more money. Let me wait until my business is at a certain level. Let me wait until the kids finish college. And so they revert back to the familiar but old limited identity. And nothing changes. I'll stay in the same situation, in the same relationships, playing in that same old pool, looking outside, wondering, how come that person has that life? I would love that life. I'd love to do what she's doing. Meanwhile, the evolved identity, the future you is right now on a timeline where she's thriving. She's flourishing. This is my new word for 2026. I love it. Flourish. Flourish. I've even called my 2-month container, my one-to-one program, Flourish, because that is what's happening with the women inside it. So she's flourishing. She's receiving with ease. Her worthiness and her wholeness, which is coming from her soul, because that's who you are in your soul essence, whole, worthy, complete. It's not questioned. And so it's sending out the most coherent signal, and life is reorganizing around that signal to bring the unfoldment of her desires and her highest destiny. This is available to you right now. I want you to hear that and feel that. That timeline is not out in some far distant future. That's a fallacy. That's an illusion. That timeline exists right here, right now, as a potential that only becomes available to you once you embody it, once you become the version of you who is living that. That is your choice. Nothing else and no one else can give that to you. So if you're waiting for the outside to change, to all of a sudden open that door for you, it doesn't work like that. You lead. You lead. You make the choices. And that is how you access it, by embodying her, by making choices as her. You start before you feel ready. You start messy. When I started my podcast 2 years ago, nearly 2 years ago, did I feel ready? No. Did I let it be messy? Yes. And that was the best advice that I got from my mentor. Start before you feel ready. Let it be messy. And so many incredible teachers out there, leaders in their field, they have started with fear. They have started with doubt, but they've chosen not to ignore it, but not to bargain with it, not to let that part of them lead. There is another part of you that wants to lead. She's uprising. It is time. And how you embody her, how you access it is you say yes, even though there's doubt and resistance, because you know all that is simply remnants of the old identity freaking out because you are on the precipice of expansion, but you know that that's not who you are, so you don't give it airtime. You choose instead, this part is really important, you choose instead self-directed thoughts and feelings. You choose to flood your being and your consciousness with truth that comes from your heart and your soul, not the old stories and lies, but the ones that are supporting your becoming. And when you do that, the old familiar part of you that's been used to controlling you by broadcasting these thoughts of I'm not good enough, I'm not enough, and it's rooted in doubt, fear, separation, limitation, that part of you loses its grip. It realizes that it doesn't have the power that it has. So it stops trying to pull you under in the ways that it's been able to. It doesn't work. It starts to then come on board and it remembers its place. It's really the most loving thing that you can do to yourself. It starts to be integrated into the light of your own becoming. So, the women who are receiving this year, and remember, manifestation is about receiving. As women, we are designed to be receivers. Yes, abundance has two flows. There is the giving, but we also need the receiving. And most women are so developed, overdeveloped in their giving, so underdeveloped in their receiving. So the women who are receiving this year are the ones that are no longer negotiating with the limited version of themselves with fear and doubt and resistance. You don't need to try to convince that part of you. You do need to shift into your highest alignment and embody her regularly so that she becomes your default. And the old timeline is starved. It's starved out because you're no longer bargaining with it. You're no longer giving it energy. You're not giving it oxygen. It was actually only the stories and lies that you were believing that kept it alive. Change your focus. Stop believing. Come back into alignment. When you do this, you accelerate your manifestations. I guarantee you. Because you close the gap through your becoming. It's the most powerful way for you to experience and align with the life that your soul is calling you towards, the life that your soul mapped out before you came. When you met with your soul team, and I've done this in a past life regression where I've been in that space in between lives and in between worlds, sitting with my soul team going, okay, what's my highest vision for this life? What's my highest timeline? What am I here to remember and expand upon through being human? So, whilst there's multiple potentials, there is a highest timeline. And not everybody lives their highest timeline in this life. But if you align with your soul, I can guarantee you that is going to become available for you. How do we do this? We do this inside my one-to-one coaching. Or if you want to learn this for yourself so that you can lead your life from this place and support others to do the same, and maybe you want to bring it into your work, this is what we are activating and fully embodying in my signature program, which I'm so excited about. It launches next week and it's called Soul Embodied Manifestation. And I could not be more excited about a program that feels like it's the precipice of my work. It's a high vibrational, intimate, high touch setting because we come together for 8 consecutive weeks where you will be supported regularly. And this is what it requires, you guys, in order to anchor in that timeline, in order to anchor in that identity. The support, the accountability, the guidance, the reminders to elevate your identity, to shift into the embodiment of your soul essence. And when you do this, you are creating on autopilot. It's left less effort because you're aligning with the destiny that's mapped out for you. So that's when we start to experience synchronicity. Ease, opportunities come to you. This is the new paradigm that we're birthing. We're not meant to hustle and struggle anymore because that's been happening from the old ego-led identity. We are moving into a soul-led era, and your greatest asset is the way that you allow yourself to be guided from that place of alignment. When you do this, yes, you're creating on autopilot, and your manifestations, your desires, what you're here to do, your purpose becomes an inevitable byproduct of your evolved becoming. And the women who walk away out of this program feel clearer, feel more aligned, feel more trusting of themselves. They're no longer questioning and doubting. They know the moves they need to make. And so when life comes at them, they are completely resourced and embodied as the highest aspect of themselves, that knows, that has certainty that all is unfolding as it should be. And so we're able to then turn the lead into gold. This is the power of alchemy. And as women, this is what we are here to do. And if this is speaking to you, it is because there's a recognition in your soul that this is what you need to come back to and remember. And I've curated it over this program. So you can go on this journey with yourself and with the other women and with me alongside you as well. And you can choose yourself in this way. And when you choose yourself in this way, when you say, right, I'm done bargaining with the limitation and the old, and you choose yourself in this way, I promise you life will choose you. Your most abundant life will choose you. And as a little bonus, if you come into my one-to-one program, if you have been contemplating that and prefer more of the one-to-one work, you get this for free as an addition if you're in that container. But if it's speaking to you to really invest in something where it's a 2-month portal over the powerful time where we're crossing into the new astrological new year and the Chinese New Year, then that is what's going to set the most magnificent tone for 2026 and beyond. I can guarantee you, you will not leave this course as the same person as who you came in as. Details are in the show notes. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know how this lands. Please send it to someone that you love, share the love, and I can't wait to connect with you again soon. All my love.